Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 12:50 p.m. On the 8th of May 2024. I'm really not well today. Can you tell? Can you tell just by looking at me? I was up 7 times last night, and I wasn't mentally well yesterday either, and I'm not sure what triggered that. I was not right yesterday, and I'm not really right today. From lack of sleep and recalibrating from yesterday's feeling of being kind of disassociative. It's getting to be a bit of a concern, people. 2 days in a row. It's not like me to fall down that dramatically, but it was kind of triggered. I know yesterday's feeling of unwellness was triggered because the day before I was commenting assiduously on a Facebook post about the COVID epoch and how we're not getting any justice really, and everything's being denied and still swept under the table and under the carpet, and hope that people will just conveniently forget. And I got very distressed and triggered because to my mind this is actually a war, and it just astonishes me that so few people are realising what's going on, and especially our governments. And it's just terrifying. So I know why I've been triggered, and I know why I've gone down in a heap, and I'll just have to pull myself back out of it because it is a war, and I'll just have to look at it that I've taken a bit of an emotional hit and rise above it. Am I right? What I do every day. I'm eating lunch too. I'm so skated. My energy today is skated everywhere. I laid in bed as long as I could, trying to get more rest, but then I got up and printed out my memories so I can make my videos for you because I don't know why it seems so important to me. Probably the stark reality that, at any given time I may not survive for much longer given my health issues and my activism on YouTube and Facebook and vocal media. You just don't know, do you? I'm not thinking that anyone's going to, deliberately target me, but you just don't know. I mean, I have been, in effect, driven out of dance spaces in the past for lesser issues than this one, just other people's envy and spite. So yes, I do get a little bit worried and paranoid and frightened that, things could go bad for me, but it's no different to what I've already survived in the rest of my entire life. Other abusers, and those were the ones that I actually had relationships with. Scary, isn't it? Scary reality. Well, the good thing about my laptop dying, I've yet to take it round to my friend Peter, I just haven't been well enough, is I now have bought a printer yesterday, and I'm kind of working it out, although it's making really enormous pictures, which is a waste of ink. But anyway, kind of working it out. I've managed to get the font to be smaller, which is good. Anyway, I'm struggling, but I'm doing the best I can to survive on this planet and have my truth and have my creativity, and I'm doing this all alone, and it's a little bit astonishing at times that I'm doing that. So today's readings of even date are titled Mother's Day Brings Nostalgia for My Long Estranged Daughter. And I posted the photo, the title photo, which I don't know why it printed out so enormous, is "Go ahead, be a rule breaker, a risk taker, and a way maker. Be your wild and mystical self. You're going to be judged regardless. So live your life in a way that shows others how to live freely and joyfully. Remember, it's your life." And what did Bon Jovi say? It's my life, and it's now or never, and we ain't going to live forever. So make the most of it, people. Every day and every way. Rejoice in all that is you and make the most of it. May 8th, 2023. Oop. Posted a photo of my, at that point in time, current projects. I worked so damn it hard on these pendants. The front two are completed. The back two, well. I tried soldering my hand-twisted stems onto the back gum nut for the past 2 days. It just refuses to work. The other gum nut embryo just fell apart when I was polishing it, meaning the stem I was trying to solder on it. You can't quite see it there, blending in with the cloth I've got it on. Arg, I had just tumbled them all and put LOS, that's liver of sulphur, and polished them, but now that one needs to be resoldered, which means it will need to be re-liver of sulphur as well, because the heat makes it go away, the patina go away. 3 days of struggle to only have 2 successful pendants. I'm starting to feel like I'm going to have a nervous breakdown, downplaying the frustration right now. So I guess tomorrow I will have to pick myself back off the floor of gravel-rashed turpitude and try again with the 2 remaining pendants. The casting of these items was easy. It's the soldering the wires for the stems that is so hard. I guess I'm being too hard on myself, as only a year ago I was unable to solder successfully at all. My hashtags were 835silver, Brisbane artist, I am so tired I could scream, situation normal, creativity, potential growth at 50%, silversmithing is art, I need a hug, and $20 million. Don't we all, babies? 8th of May 2022. Happy Mother's Day to Gaia, who sustains us with life force, food, beauty, fresh air and water, and cosmic interconnected vibrations. To the women who birthed me and rebirthed me. To the women and men who fed me, nurtured me, gave me hope for the future, loved me, held me precious when I was down in the abyss, prayed for me, blessed me, comforted me, gifted me homes to live in, gifted me freedom, self-authority, and grace. Thank you for the love, for the sweetness, for the generosity, and for the beautiful life we are co-creating on our beautiful planet. Just going to grab another mouthful. Oh, hang on a minute. Shalom. Don't forget, shalom. Peace, people. I had this in the freezer. I haven't even been out to do a proper grocery shop. I'm that mentally unwell, it's not like me. I'll probably have to, I don't know. I'll just have to make myself do it, won't I? but I haven't felt this mentally bad in a long, long time, so it's kind of freaking me out because I've been really doing so very, very well. But I guess it's just a matter of, change in the season. My lungs are playing up, and I got myself upset about my laptop dying and all the other triggers, and it's just too much. Everything's too much, This is why I live alone, isolated, because I don't cope. I don't cope like other people. That's why I'll never have a partner. I've given up on that dream. Apart from my little sneaky cuddle I kind of stole on Friday night, which was hilarious. It'll never happen. It'll just never happen, and I know that. All I can be grateful for is a kiss on the cheek and a little bit of friskiness. But it's okay because it's not hurting anyone and it won't go any further. I just get myself a little bit Twitter-pated from time to time, and then I have to rein it back in because it's not real, and Mama's being silly. Mama T is being silly, and I've got far higher things I have to deal with, like fight this COVID epoch battle that's not going to go away on its own. No matter how much they deny it, sweep it under the carpet. Too many people are dying for us to just stay silent and go along with it all. It's completely evil that they would even expect us to remain silent in the face of such atrocity. Well, what can I say? I've got good food in my belly, healthy cooked food. The sun's even popped back out. It's a beautiful moment in the space-time continuum. Never give up. Here I write, 8th of May 2021. As long as you don't give up. And I posted a meme that says, fine, I won't give up, but I will cuss the entire time. I sure as shit will. 8th of May 2020. I had a delightful visit from Margot and her two little girls, Evie and Susie. They got a tour of my house and loved the witch toy that lights up and cackles that I have hanging over my bedhead, which was gifted to me many, many decades ago, 20 years ago even, by my friend Carol Pelmeter, kind of making fun of me because I laugh like a witch, with a witch's cackle. Well, you know what? I own that shit. I've always laughed like a witch. I laugh like my mother too. And we were witches by ancestry, so I'm not the least bit embarrassed or ashamed of the way I laugh. It's not like I can do anything about it anyway. Little Evie, the elder of the children, aged about 5, said, "Can you set up the witch's cauldron?" I said, "How do you know I have one, Evie?" She just shrugged. I said, "I do set up that cauldron on Halloween once a year." If you come to my house at that time, you will see the cauldron with its mister. I put a mister in it. Yeah. Sends this fog everywhere. It looks really lovely. The children of this generation are so attuned that it blows my mind. Very intuitive. Cute. We shared my delicious fudge brownies and the kids jumped on the rebounder thingy I used as a pet bed under the house. They cried when they had to go home as it was all a bit exciting. I told them it was a weird thud, wasn't it? I'm so nervous about that carpet python coming back to see me. Where was I? I told them they can visit again and that Charlie, the cats, the goldfish and Bobo and myself will still be here. Alas, that's no longer true 4 years later. It's just me and Charlie and the 2 goldfish now. I joked I would just be getting older and weirder, specifically more weirder than older. Margot and I had to laugh at that. Here I posted another meme and I wrote, ha ha ha, oops. I found that delightful. My homie, I got some home girls we can chill with tonight, but we're not about to get all metaphysical and weird, brew. Soon as I sit down, out comes the tarot cards and the crystal ball and all the other, yes, mystical paraphernalia. That made me laugh so much. I found that delightful. I actually miss it when Crystal and Jared used to visit and they'd get out the tarot cards, my tarot cards, of which I have quite a few packs, and we would read each other's cards. But, well, Jared and I haven't read our cards to each other since it was October last year, and I'm kind of scared to look at my cards, quite frankly, given the kind of fallout from the epoch. I'm really frightened to look at them. And anyway, the spirits want me to know stuff. The spirits come and talk to me mano these days. It's a bit astonishing. Or they send me auguries like the gigantic carpet snake. 8th of May 2019. I had, I don't know why I've got something stuck in my throat, it's driving me crazy. I had my debrief. My doctor told me that I'm powerful because I'm so utterly, rawly honest about myself and my interactions with others, that I have the Bodhisattva persona that stems from my inner spirit and long-term survival, that my hypervigilance of a trauma patient has been honed to the point that I see through all the bullshit, usually. Sometimes when I don't see, it's kind of a choice, not wanting to see, because if I saw it or if I acknowledged it, I'd be so deeply hurt, I might never recover. So mumity and denial is potentially even more dangerous than mumity, fully aware and cognizant. Am I right? Because when it flares back up and I can't deny the issue at hand anymore, then I have to do something about it. And because there's been a delay in reacting, it can be even more intense and fiery and incendiary and bloody furious than I would have been if I'd dealt with it when it first happened. So I try not to let things slide, because why let things slide? It doesn't benefit you in the end. It just means that the perpetrator thinks they got away with things and you end up going down into the rabbit hole, and when you pop back up again, you have to fight your way back even harder. It's not worth it, people. Deal with things as they arise. Speak your truth, even if at first It's just a tiny whisper. Hold your ground, hold your line. Keep yourself safe. Love you all. I told him I feel much better this week, mentally clear and much more positive. It has been another hard year with the Cardinal Pell conviction and my health issues, but I finally feel so much better. Of course I say this with full knowledge that I fall into the abyss with more monotonous regularity than other more normal folks, but for now I am loving what's left of me and my life. I told my doctor that raw honesty is all I am left with after being stripped bare of everything, including love relationships, security, money, etc. It is my last whittled down essence. Like the 0 point field, the most powerful of all. When you have nothing left to lose except potentially even your life, and you've lost that more times than people can count on both hands, you become fearless, my darlings, absolutely fearless. He said there is something in you, meaning in me, apart from the words I use and the way I express myself, something in my intelligence and deep core of my spirit that is indeed powerful. I suppose so. Pity I always feel so physically under par though, subpar, but I'm getting older and I'm struggling with life on my own, so it's to be expected really, you know. He said there is read that. I'm finally accepting my innate greatness that I was made to push down or fear by my abusers all my life. Where will it lead me to? No idea. But just for today, I'm going to enjoy my own power in Māori mana and the staunch love and support of my worthy doctor and my brave and beautiful friends and one remaining daughter. Just wonderful. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Well, I can't rely on the one remaining daughter for support either since September last year. So it's just my few rare and precious friends, my doctors times 2, my urologist and my psychiatrist, and me. I posted here an article. I'm a university lecturer, but I'm struggling to make ends meet. I wrote, ridiculously awful, even our intellectual elite are struggling for survival. So, that's a grave concern, people. A grave concern. 8th of May 2017, 3:53 a.m. Ho'oponopono brings healing, clarity, and who knows what more is yet to be purged. Bear with me. It's going to be a long story. I woke up thirsty, but with a great sense of karmic cleansing. Yes, the man I have loved with all my heart that wrought great evil towards me will be dealt with. The gods have spoken. I am exhausted but satisfied. The pain is intense, but no less painful than the previous pain of the past 6 months. It is leaving my body, mind, spirit. I cleaned my gutters last week. Yesterday, the dragon fruit that was my personal protection on the side of the house, meaning I'd cut it back, and so I had to clear away all the excess dragon fruit tendrils. This week the raspberry will get cut down as new fencing is due to be installed soon. Selling my engagement ring, the symbol of a long dead love that was purchased and manipulated by my mother, meaning my mother bought and paid for my then fiancé and husband, by the way. It was really sick and evil, quite frankly. Hindsight 2020, but I was a kid, so I hadn't realised how badly I was being manipulated. I should have known better, knowing my mother though, the way I did, but teenagers have no concept of how rotten and evil and putrescent their narcissist psychopathic mothers can really be. This is the tragedy of my life, by the way. Brought another crisis of emotional bloodletting. The $150 was nice as it brought me some food and a drink on Saturday night, but if I had known for sure that spiritually it was going to fuck my vibe so severely, I would have stuck to my original plan to throw the evil piece of shit Horcrux into the sea. Next time, I will honour my own intuition. $40 left of that energy. What shall I buy with it? Laughing my ass off. I see things very clearly right now, like a veil has been lifted. Who was fake and malevolent? Who truly loved me? Fascinating to observe. I'm ready for the next adventure. May the gods in their infinite peace and mercy continue to light my path out of darkness and deception, and bring me to my perfect state of existence with a gentle, loving hand. Amen. Still in 2017, 8th of May. I love waking up in the morning to the face of Beauregard regarding my features remodelling into consciousness. I have a little stretch and a yawn, make weird groaning noises as I shift back into presence in my body. He always does the same, then gives me a very compassionate doggy smile. We are back in Daroon, back on earth, grounded, alive, aware. Psychedelic dreamer's dream continues. My youngest child, Jasmine Ariel Aarons to be exact, was born on Mother's Day. I try not to think about that now. She rejected me years ago. My eldest daughter migrated to Europe. She says she loves me. But here I am, a mother who was one of the unmothered, now a failure at motherhood. You can't bind love to you. It is or it is not. I loved my children to the point of obsession. As babies, they were my only true loves in a marriage marred by emotional abuse and a relationship with my family of origin marred by so much abuse, from frying pan to the jellied fire. To escape my family, I craved a family of my own, something loving, strong, and genuine. But I married a dull intellect psychopath. I exchanged one sociopath for another, then tried to live a normal life, surrounded by mother, father, stepfather, half-sister, brother-in-law, husband, and not one was ever really on my side, although my half-sister pretended to be, did a very good act of it, up until I migrated to Australia, and then all support dwindled. So, anyway, I carry on. Not one cared enough to protect or defend me. Sold me down the river Styx, but the ferryman would not take my loose change, as I had work to do. Raise my babies against all odds, keep leaving, moving house, trying to get us all safe. The toll was paid in my trauma. It cost me Jasmine. Almost cost me Crystal too, as well. But even though she has removed herself, there is still a fragment of love left for me. Skype messages. I try not to cry and think of all the love in my life. Cats, dogs, hens, garden, fish ponds, a few lovely friends. My bastard mother predicted my kids would abandon me when they grew up. She was right. She programmed the final outcome. Abuse, trauma, attempts to heal, reconciliation, more abuse, suicide attempt, estrangement, keep us safe, deaths, will dispute, more suicidal ideation. Payout, money poured out like a libation to celebrate my liberation. Wild celebrations of my freedom from my past. Attacks coming from external forces. Banned from the pub I built so much energy in. Defamation accusations. Another serious suicide attempt. Then a stolen puppy. Now, 6 months later, a return to happiness with my Beauregard and a powerful love I won't let go of. Children leave. Maybe one day they will come back. Maybe not. Lovers leave. Lovers stay. I am the love I poured out to others. If only a fraction of what I gave away to other people came to reside within, to stay within, to ennoble and enrich my heart and soul, even a tiny amount, how would I be? How strong, how replete, how fulfilled. My childhood was tainted. My young adulthood stained by abuse. My prime, my 30s and 40s, recovering from attempts to annihilate me. Now I am 51. I can't make sense of it. The daughter, sister, that should read half-sister. She's not even half a human being anyway, to be honest, but you get that. Wife, mother, friend, lover, failure, survivor. So now I pray to God to smite our enemies, but in return I myself am immolated. I did not matter. I was, am, and always will be nothing and no one. The shadow, on the wall, the light and the fire, the breath that was squeezed out of me, the declension. Kill me if you must, but here I am, alone, alive, aspiration. I am whom I am becoming. God is watching. I wait and hope and trust and dream and sing and dance and never ever quit believing that all this will fall away like a discarded garment, and beyond the veil there will be love and light instead of fight and flight and fright, and the collective forgetfulness of what we've just been put through as a global population. Although I didn't know about that back then, and what year was that? 2017? Yes. I seethe with rage over what's been done to my fellow humans. Does me no good. I can't change it. I can't make you all wake up. I can't do anything but try to survive in my own psychedelic dream. Alone. What did I say? Alone, alive, aspiration. Aspiring to a better future for all of us. Love is mine and I am love. It is a fierce, passionate drive to survive, thrive and subscribe to truth and beauty and integrity. Love always and forever. Just going to segue a little bit. I watched a wonderful movie last night, an Indian movie, Gangubai. It was about a young woman who was tricked by her lover, left home with a lover going to another town or city in India, and he'd sold her off to be a prostitute unbeknownst to her. And so she ended up being, trapped in this brothel and, beaten and tortured and having no choice but to become a prostitute because there was no escape. And but she eventually regained her own inner power. And my God, it was disturbing. I'm not a prostitute, but there's people that think I am because I used to, practically live at the casino every weekend dancing, and so people cast those kind of aspersions, but there's no shame in being a prostitute, quite frankly. It's the world's oldest profession, and if that's what a woman has to do to survive, then that's what a woman has to do. But I really identified with her, having seen how she was trying to protect the young children in the brothel, and trying to protect and get basic human rights and dignity for her fellow sex workers. And it was an amazing movie, and I don't know, I kind of began identifying with the character because she eventually fell in love, which is a very hard thing for a woman to do who's been betrayed by a lover, in her case sold into prostitution, in my case just almost murdered several times and just betrayed over and over and over again. So it's hard to love again, Anyway, there was a poignant part in the movie where she takes this lover, and he's a handsome Indian man and he's gorgeous. They practically talk just by gestures. She's motioning down from, her first floor apartment or rooms, and he's motioning up. And the way they did it, how they had this communication, almost telepathic but also non-verbal, was just delightful, just to kind of highlight the purity of the love that was between them. how beautiful and sweet and childlike and kind of innocent it was. And then they catch a taxi going somewhere. She's by the stage, high status. She's become the madam in her brothel or in her village. I think she said she was in charge of 4,000 prostitutes, so she's very high status indeed. And she's driving in this, I think it was a flaming Rolls Royce actually. And the lover, passionate and excited, starts, throws himself on top of her and starts kissing her. And she's feeling violated. Even though she's in love with him, she's feeling crowded and kind of violated because he hasn't actually thought to ask for consent. He's just dive-bombed in. And you can see, it was so cleverly done, the shift in her face when she realises, although she loves him dearly, that she's not actually safe with him either. And anyway, she pushes him off her and she slaps him several times, but she still continues to tease him along for a while longer because she was in love with him. But the next thing she did is she arranges a marriage with one of the young girls that's been brought to the brothel that is still pure and hasn't been violated to become a prostitute yet. And she saves her, this young girl, aged 15, by marrying her off to her lover. And it was so poignant, and he loves her so much. He said, "Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to be married to this young girl. I want you." And I completely understood. She couldn't trust in loving him and feeling safe and knowing that, he would be loyal and faithful to her and would treat her with respect, and, she couldn't trust in it. So she literally, virtually sold this young girl with all the gold she had off to his parents, and making sure that the young girl would have a good life because she was a wife and hadn't been molested or raped or brutally beaten in a brothel. She said she's still pure, she's still chaste, and I want her to have a good life and I want you to have a good life. And then at the end of the movie it shows her waving as she's going past with all the crowds cheering her on, to the lover, the former lover, and his wife who's, showing off her pregnant belly, And my heart kind of broke because I thought, I've done things kind of like that, when I knew somebody was a bit sweet on me, but it wasn't actually suitable, it wasn't going to go anywhere. I told him he had to get married and do the right thing, do the respectable thing. And I also know, well, I don't know, but I feel that, like this character in this movie, that I'll never have a true love partner either, because I'll never be able to trust that they're genuine and that I'm safe with them and that they literally have my back and my front and that they love me so much that they will do everything in their power to be with me and choose me. It's a fantasy, and I know, like that character in that movie, I know it will likely never happen, especially given now that I'm old and my health's not great. But then, to be fair, my health's never been great, and I've managed to have love affairs in the past, but they were men that actually did bring me to the brink of my own death by trying to finish me off with strangling me and all sorts of, the last lover, Dave, with his emotional psy-operative cruelties, shoving, my former friends in my face and just being crass. I mean, he didn't strangle me physically with his hands, but he was thwarting me at every turn, being savage. And, and I still loved and loved and loved, and it took a great deal to stop loving these people, So I saw that movie and I thought, I think I'm going to end up like that young madam. Well, I'm not a madam, and I'm not going to end up in that realm of things. Don't think so anyway. But I'm joking. But I could see that she and I kind of have the same destiny, which is to never really be loved by a human man in a way that is authentic and soul nourishing and trustworthy and safe, and share our lives together as a couple, because look at me living with the way I'm living. It's not on the cards. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you because it's funny how the gods send me synchronicities, even in the form of movies sometimes, to remind me to be grateful for what I do have, which is my freedom, which that young woman in the movie was fighting for, the freedom for her, sex workers in India to be given human rights and dignity. So she was a freedom fighter too. And, there are some things that are more important than having a husband or a life partner in your bed. Some things are the ultimate sacrifice, fighting for our freedom and our rights. And it's kind of a hill you have to be prepared to die on, which I was all through COVID. I was prepared to die on that hill. But yet again, I didn't die. I'm still going. And I'm still like a young girl, fresh and nubile and sweet, hoping against hope for my true love partner, with purple lips and bags under my eyes. I mean, really, it's ridiculous. But it's also adorable how I never give up. Here I write, 12 years as a slave, gut-wrenching, immaculate movie. And again, this is all on the same day in 2017. Mal Khalifa has once again evaded justice, protected by the Israeli government and the court-appointed psychiatrist, which to my mind was just a complete shunda, and which means a disgrace. I will pray that the angel of death visits her every night and tortures her to the degree she raped and tortured all her victims. Let her know no peace, joy or health until justice is done by all her victims. As she sowed, so must she reap. May all the angels of wrath and vengeance appear to her and her enablers, and may their filth be wiped from the face of the earth. May her victims live to see justice in their own day and be healed so they can thrive and live full and happy lives. Amen. And justice was indeed served, I think, last year, finally, but it took years and years, 6 years later. Here again I pray, may the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel and Leah, hear my prayer, not just for me, who remains unavenged, but for all survivors of child sexual abuse. In particular, please, O Lord of hosts, primordial consciousness, creator of worlds upon worlds, let those harmed by Mal Khalifa see justice soon, sooner. Bless her victims with peace, love, and abundant positive blessings. Free them from the slavery of her oppression and perversions. Let none who stood by and supported that evil woman Be free of the smiting, whether figurative or literal. Thank you. Amen. Crystal is finding the Hackney Haredim males very obnoxious and oppressive. They pushed in front of her on the bus, and when she told them it was an absolute chutzpah, they told her it had nothing to do with being Jewish. She said, "No, it's about you hating women." She had to push past them as they are so afraid she might touch them. Those perverted schmucks in Gabardine, in a cult that enables and protects paedophiles, have the nerve, the chutzpah, to insult my daughter, a decent woman. She can't wait to move out of that ghetto. Laughing out loud, Sylvia Shine of ZL, that means of blessed memory, would have told her to punch them in their faces. She was an Orthodox English Jew, or rather an English Orthodox Jew. And after being raised in that filthy community, she hated them with a passion. Now I finally understand why. 8th of May, 2016. I went to Woolies to buy bones and dog sausage for my bow. Well, oh my, chocolate mud cake was $2.50, eclairs $2.25, and chocolate croissants. I couldn't go past that. So my very lonely Mother's Day, Jasmine hates me for being awesome, and Crystal forgot or doesn't care, meh. Mind you, Mother's Day in England, where she was residing at the time, is a different date, has been compensated with carbicide. I will go down to Valhalla in opulent Rubenesque glory, toots horn to tune of the last post. Jewish Viking witches will die well fed and cared for. Yes, ma'am. Thank you to the Shekhinah for providing for me in abundance. Every day of my natural, or at times supernatural life, is a goddess-driven miracle. I wake up breathing, I go to sleep breathing. I dream psychedelic technicolor dreams or nightmares, and in between I try to make sense out of my life. At 51, I should have been dead decades ago, but mysteriously and rather disturbingly to me and my enemies, I am not dead. This is rather inconvenient, as I can't afford even my most basic lifestyle. But with a lot, I mean a huge lot of effort, my friends float me along and drag me up from the quagmire of desolation. Mordor, Hodor, Eeyore. What is a mad tea party without the Mad Hatter? It is like a carpenter without oysters, or the ring of power without those who must have their precious. By the hair on my chinny chin chin, double chin, thank you very much. As Case used to say, being overweight used to be a status symbol of being wealthy, as you could eat well enough to get fat and, well, luscious. So let me eat cake until my head falls off. Ha ha ha. So many Davids, so little bail money, lawyers and alibis. The reference to that is my father's name was David, and then my former lover who tried to kill me, who died in 2016, was named David Davidson, So good they named him twice, am I right? And then I'd had this broken love affair with another man named Dave, which is David. So there is that. I do have a friend though, David Anderson, my friend Margot's husband, who is an absolute gentleman and a wonderful man. So my antipathy towards people named David only goes towards people named David who also happen to be assholes. Just saying. There are lovely Davids out in the world. It's just if I meet men named David, you know, like randomly, like in clubs where there's a sexual agenda, I immediately walk on by, nod politely, and keep going. Well, I have the trauma issues, so it's quite understandable, really. Beauregard has puppy ADD today, busy chasing the Crow family up and down the fence. He has been outside all day. He keeps running to the fence on high alert, but nothing is there. Scoping the perimeter of my property, sniffing everything. I hope he has not licked toads in the early hours of the morning. He is almost acting as if he is stoned, all sped up like. I don't know where he gets his energy from. Tomorrow, I will be in a Byron Bay state of mind and being, going there with Jared, Harvey and Beauregard. Harvey was Jared's little dog. It will be a dog god's afternoon and evening. Happy dance! Oh, I can hardly wait to commune with the rainbow serpent's tail and all those pure, beautiful energies. Let the healing commence. The other day, Jared found out something really fascinating. I scattered my de facto stepfather of 23 years ashes on King Island at Wellington Point at his request. My mother also wanted to be scattered there so her ashes could be in the ocean next to Case and the tides could carry her essence to the four corners of the globe. Her last husband had hijacked her life, money and houses, and co-wrote a horrible evil will. And to add insult to great tortuous injury, he had bought a burial plot at Redland Bay Cemetery for her to be buried beside him. After his decade of abuse, I simply would not allow this, as I had known for many years, even as a child, that she wanted to be cremated and put in the sea. So when the ashes of my dead mother were returned to me, she sat on the floor in front of my TV for a week as I slowly digested the fact she was in a plastic buoy that looked just like the huge bottle I had to piss in when Crystal was 2 weeks overdue for delivery. I would watch TV and watch my mother's ashes and think, well, here she is in all her opulent, over-the-top splendor. Also, my mother was a floater. She could lie in her pool for hours, floating around in her sarong, naked underneath, floating like a giant blue bottle with her venomous sting. She also loved to wear white flowing dresses, and even walking around all white and flowing, she had the appearance of a floater. So this buoy bottle really put me into a tailspin of wonderment. I hired white lady funeral directors, as my mother, for all her malevolent ways, was always the lady in white. Their chapel that we conducted her funeral in was elegant, with chandeliers and Persian rugs and looked just like Gisela's living room. Perfection. Then I summoned up the courage, and Jared, Crystal, Jasmine and I made the long walk to the island at low tide. Jasmine demanded she get the honour of scattering her grandmother, which sort of made up for her laughing hysterically and spitefully at Mum's funeral and remarking, "Why don't they make heart-shaped coffins?" Perhaps in hindsight she was channeling Gisela after all. So Jasmine played La Vie en Rose by Edith Piaf, as it was meaningful to Jasmine. Kind of have to laugh at that, to be honest. I did not have the heart to tell her that Mum hated that song. But it was beautiful and poignant, and Mum did have a tendency to destroy rose-coloured glasses and make all my dreams into curses, so the irony was not lost on me. Jasmine tossed her grandmother into the sea with a certain amount of perfunctory glee, and I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. Then silently we returned to the mainland. Jared found out that in the 1900s a family had lived on that tiny island for 2 years as their child had polio, so a doctor had recommended they live in the fresh salt air. It is not known if the child survived or died, but they gave it their all, living in isolation apart from low tide marks out there. The family's surname was Phillips. My mother had kept my father's name for decades after they split, and only took on the accursed Shearer name on marrying that vile con man. So on one side of King Island we have Cornelis van der Greft, formerly Hottentot on his great-great-grandmother's side, which was hysterical as he was such a racist, and yet he had a family crest from the Hottentots in South Africa. Oh, I just love how the universe gives you a little kick from behind every now and then, just to bring everything back into harmonic resonance, am I right? And on the other side, Gisela, Eva, Margarita, Maya, Peter, Jarman, Phillips, Shearer. We planted her as far out to sea as we could, farthest north of the island, so she couldn't fight with Case too much, as he was a peaceful man who needed his space from her. So it is a strange twist of fate that in insisting on my mother's wishes for her ashes to be honoured, that I also brought her home to the Phillips clan. I can hear Case say, "Och doch Mensch." And my friend Julie Goddard wrote, "I love your memories and ramblings." And I replied, "Lol, thanks Julie, I am a bit out of my mind, as usual." Happy Mother's Day to the beautiful people. Happy Unmothered Day for the rest of us, shaken, not stirred, emotionally destroyed, but still smiling folks. To my adopted mothers, past and present, who nurtured me when my biological mother failed to be a decent person. June Robertson, Lynn Sloan, Rosie Price. Thanks for the love. Kiss, kiss, kiss. I can add that to that list Sybil Colvin, my ex-boyfriend Courtney's mother, who did try to be a kind of a mother figure to me, but it was complicated. And my beautiful Sally Castle, and who else mothers me? Jackie Burns sometimes is a bit mothering to me. Anyway, to all you beautiful women who are wonderful mothers, God's bless you. Even if I do arc up about being mothered and or smothered, I do recognise that your love is deep and true and sometimes a little too intense. But God's bless you for looking after the Tanya. Oh, uncomfortable cramps. 8th of May 2016. Unusual peace between Penny and Beauregard. She is chewing her nails, crunch, crunch, and he is resting and letting her be new world leader. And she is very happy with her alpha animal position, right above his little puppy head, so she could reach down and swipe him one. But she did love him. She was a true mother to him in actual fact. Very mothering of our little Beauregard she was. Here's another photo. There's something lovely how cats languorously just stretch themselves out like supermodels without a care in the world. I love it. I love that about cats. I miss her so much. She was a gorgeous cat. Penny's glamour puss shot. I almost should have written, paint me like one of your French models, but I probably used it in another photo earlier. 8th of May 2015, 5:26 p.m. Woke up half an hour ago. Boy chick, was I tired? I have no money until Monday or Tuesday, so I guess I will go dancing anyway and drink water. I have done that many times before. I'm still very angry that $20 note was stolen from my purse. 2 times too many. Now making a nice cup of tea and contemplating my future. To dance or not to dance. If I don't feel more alert by 10 p.m, I will stay home. Shabbat Shalom, you all. 8th of May 2014, 3:05 a.m. Still awake, have changed bedding in the spare room, put away my doll collection from my childhood, sorted linen cupboard, sort of, now changing my bedding in my room. I finally ate some pudding, done 2 loads of washing, epic house cleaning still required, it's out of control. I also sorted some clothes for the op shop. I need to let go of stuff as I am such a hoarder. I will see if Crystal wants my business suits, which I haven't worn in 15 years, laughing my ass off. They were beautiful, very good quality, tailor-made suits. I think I actually gave them to her friend Ashley in the end. So, paid it forward. I was never going to wear them again, never going to work in an office again. Paid it forward. Maybe that's partly why I got so triggered yesterday trying to get the new printer going. Reminded me of working in offices. I really fucking flipped out yesterday. It was not good. I don't know. Some more photos of my cat. This is who I wake up to every afternoon. My best girl, Penny. Must have been sleeping a lot back in those days too, on the heavy psych meds that used to turn me into a veritable frickin' zombie. Sleeping up to 20 hours a day. I'd do anything to sleep 20 hours a day again. My goddess. May 2011. I got a big surprise this evening. My two beautiful daughters surprised me by sneaking round the back door with a visit for Mother's Day. It's probably the last time Jasmine ever bothered with me, really. We didn't have a fight or anything, she just cut ties. We had tea and chocolate and read each other's cards. I was able to give Crystal her coffee table and Jasmine an early birthday gift for Tuesday. Like must have been another doodle bear, am I right? Jared will get why that's a hilarious family in-joke. It's also a traumatic family in-joke, but never mind. Life is good and getting better and better. Bliss. I want to cry when I think about it. But you know what? Ultimately, it's on them. It's on them, how they treat me. It's all on them, and I just have to surf through life until my surfboard flips me over and under and leaves me in permanently in the void. Whenever that might happen, I don't know. In the meantime, I keep reading my stories and dancing my dance and being in love with the ones I love, and the rest doesn't matter. To all the mothers in the world with enough love in your hearts to honour, protect, love, guide, nurture, comfort the unmothered, the abused, neglected, hurt, traumatised, the lonely, the lost. Some of these women never bore their own children, but were excellent mothers anyway, and some of these beautiful women, although being excellent mothers, were rejected by their own offspring, yet continue to love and nurture them, nurture their fellow mothers, who also, from time to time, experience the same. I honour all the women in the world and my own many and varied mothers who have loved and cherished, respected, comforted and laughed with me, been solid supports and the anchors in my life in turbulent times. I love you all. God bless. Gail and I celebrated Mother's Day together this morning. Gail brought me lovely fruit and custard tartlets and a block of my favourite Lindt chocolate, and I brought out my best German china teacups and made tea. And we ate merrily. Then afterwards we took Miss Bella Rosa for a lovely walk in the forest behind my house. I ended up giving those beautiful Rosenthal cups to my friend Heather, and I hope she enjoys them. She ditched me not long after, but it wasn't because of the cups. But anyway, I hope she enjoys them. They were exquisite. The weather was splendid, and after Gail went to work, I spent the day outside pottering in my garden, feeling peaceful and content. My friend Lynn Sloan wrote, "I'm glad you had a lovely day." Annette D rang me and said she had a lovely day too. It's nice to see my friends happy. I replied, I'm glad Annette had a nice day too. My kids gave me a surprise visit tonight. So cool. 8th of May 2009. I am being totally worshipped and adored by a little terrier named Harvey. Proof that dog equals God and are interchangeable. P.S. Bella is psychotically jealous. Proof that dogs are monotheistic. They think, I am God. And on that comical note, I bid you all adieu from the dog gods and the god dogs and the damned and the not so damned and the revivified and the not so revivified, from all that is and all that was and all that ever shall be. May we, people of earth, find our way and be blessed and live joyously and triumphantly with our truest, deepest loves by our side, treating us with kindness and deep regard and honour and integrity and sweetness and romance and passion and generosity. And that's my manifestation for me, but if you're in need of that too, may you also be blessed. And those of you who already have loving partners, cherish each other for as long as you can, my beloved ones. Life is short, so make every day, every moment count, and be happy. Bye for now from Sacred Space, Titania's Realm.